In today's lesson, I'm going to show you two different ways that we can compare and put the planets in order. So follow along with this page of notes. First, let's go ahead and put the planets in order from their distance from the sun, starting with the planet closest and working our way to the planet that's farthest away from the sun. Remember that our inner planets are the four planets that are made of rocky material and are closest to the sun. And then after the asteroid belt right here, we have our outer planets, our gas giants that are farthest away from the sun. So let's go ahead and put them in order using what's called a mnemonic device. A mnemonic device is just a sentence or phrase where each one of the words in it stands for something, and it just helps you to remember something else. So they're usually a kind of silly sentence, but if you remember the sentence, you can remember the order. So I'm going to use a classic one here, and I'll go ahead and reveal each word, and you can write them down as I talk about what each one stands for. So we have M is for the word my, which stands for Mercury. For Venus, we'll use the word very. For Earth, we'll use the word educated. For Mars, we'll use the word mother. So for our inner planet, so far we have my very educated mother. For our outer planets, Jupiter will be just. We'll use the word served for Saturn. We'll use the word us for Uranus and nachos for Neptune. So here's what our final sentence looks like. My very educated mother just served us nachos. Yes, it's very silly, but if you can remember that sentence, it'll help you remember the order of the planets from the sun. So just remember that my very educated mother just served us nachos. By the way, this little sentence has been around for decades. I bet your parents probably learned it, except when we were in school, we had Pluto at the end still considered a regular planet. Now it's considered a dwarf planet. But when Pluto was in it, then we used to say, my very educated mother just served us 9 pizzas or 9 pickles, either one. You also are welcome to make up your own sentence. If you don't like mine, you can come up with something creative and silly. But that's an easy way to remember those planets in order. Now let's look at the planets in order of their size. We're going to go from the biggest to the smallest. So we'll start with our largest planet and working our way to our smallest planet right here. And I have a very ridiculous way of helping you remember it. I found this random picture of this kid in his Halloween costume on Google, and I stuck him in my notes. I have no idea who he is, but he's going to be famous forever in my notes. And I have called him the Planet Man. And his name is Jason Evum. Okay, I know that totally doesn't make sense. It's not well spelled, but work with me here. It's the only thing I could come up with. If you have a better idea, let me know. Okay, so here we go. Here are the planets in order of size from the largest, biggest one down to the smallest in order. And we're going to remember his name, Jason Evum, to help us remember it. So his first name is Jason. That's not really how you spell Jason, but like I said, we're just coming up with something. So Jason, the J stands for Jupiter, S stands for Saturn, the U stands for Uranus, and the N stands for Neptune. And if you look at those sizes, Jupiter is definitely bigger. This is Saturn without its rings. And then Uranus is just a tiny, tiny little bit bigger than Neptune. They're pretty close in size. So those are our gas giants, and of course those are all the largest. And then going into our terrestrial planets, terrestrial means Earth-like. So these are the Earth-like planets, small and rocky, inner planets. Earth is actually the largest of those. Just a little bit smaller than Earth is Venus. And then the 2 M's, you do have to just remember the order of this. Mars is bigger and Mercury is the tiniest. If you put them in alphabetical order, Mars is bigger than Mercury. So Jason Evum is this random kid from Google Images that I searched for in his Halloween costume, and he will be forever remembered as Planet Man. And his name is Jason Evam, and it helps us remember the order of the planets. I know, it's really cheesy. If you have a better idea of how to remember the planets in order, by all means, let me know. But this is the ones I've come up with, and it works. Let me go ahead and close out by showing you guys a video of the planets. And this one has a couple other celestial objects in it, but this is a cool YouTube video that helps us just see those different planets. So we have Earth's moon, and then starting our planets, here's Mercury, compared to Mars, Venus, and then Earth. There's Neptune, Saturn without its rings, and then Jupiter. And if I get into the suns, there is our sun. And this video continues on. If you want to look at it, it's called Star Size Comparison. It actually goes into some of the biggest stars in the planets and the universe as well.